welcome to TSCHÜSS Radio, Magi Merlin.
Yay!
Hey. Yeah, no, I'm so excited to have you on. Like I said, I got hip to you a couple of months ago when I first moved to London,
Yeah,
and,
dude.
like, it's seriously become a core part of my soundtrack here.
Aw,
I
yes.
have I'm so excited to get into it.
Yeah,
I have a
absolutely.
lot of questions. I figured just as a good place to start, so I know that you're from and based in Montreal,
Yeah.
which is about to get quite a boost in coverage from the new Mile End Kicks
True.
movie coming out, so
Yeah,
let's go.
totally.
What is special about the music scene there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always had a something. I mean, like, you'll see when you guys see that movie, it's, like, set in Montreal in 2011, and, like, there's a lot of I know Grimes was, like, coming up there, Mac DeMarco, Arcade Fire. There's, like, a bunch of, like, crazy indie bands that were, like, popping up left and right, and, like, there is, I think, like, a similar obviously, like, nothing can stay the same forever, but, like, Montreal still has is known for, like, as being, like, an artistic city. I had, like, an Uber, and I was like, "Yeah," like, I was, like, in an Uber having a conversation. He's like, "Where are you from?" I'm, "Montreal." He's like, "Oh, the art city." So it's, like, I still it still has that, reputation. And, yeah, there's loads of people coming up, in, like, different genres in Montreal, which I think is really cool, like, I've been also just seeing, like, there's a lot of alternative R&B musicians who I think, you wouldn't necessarily attribute to Montreal, but, like, that's 100% what's coming out of there, you know?
Mm.
So, like, Fernie is one who's, like, really cool, and, I know Zach Zoya is, like, like, a R&B baddie, you know?
Let's go.
So there's, like, loads of really cool acts, like Kaya Hoax. Belly is, like, a Keb musician, but she kind of just makes this weird pop music, which is super sick, and, like, we did a couple co-headlines together, but yeah. So there's just, like, a really I think it is flourishing, um, on in it like, I honestly feel it is. I think, like, you
Mm.
can flourish without everybody, like, having eyes on it necessarily. Sometimes it's, like, better to kind of develop, like, in your little community and then, like, pop out, whenever
Hell
you're
yeah.
ready.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm just, like, thinking now too that it feels like along the East Coast, there's a lot of, like,
Mhm.
pop experimenting that's going
Yeah.
on that's, like, really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how long have you been doing music?
I've been honestly, I've been saying, like, all my life, because it's so I've been a writer, I think I'll say, like, specifically a writer my whole life, and when I say my whole life, I mean, like, even when before I was able to write, like, my mom was telling me stories about how, like, I was 5 and I would wake up from a dream and be like, "I have this poem, like, can you write this poem down for me?" And so she would, like, write, like, my little, like, little kid poems and stuff. So
Oh
I
my
think there was
gosh.
always, like, something in the air, you know, and, like, this idea that kind of just stuck in my head, and, yeah, like, I took it with me, and then for what, like, I think I would attribute the sound that's been developed, with, like, working with funkywhat, like, the guy, the producer, Montreal-based producer that I work with and have been working with for, like, almost, like, 10 years. It's been, like, 8.5 years or something like that.
Oh,
Um
wow.
yeah, so it's been yeah, long-standing relationship, and, I think we were able to like, I met him when he was, like so he's been in bands and stuff, but he was, like, 6 months into starting to produce, and then I was
Okay.
like, "Oh, I definitely know I wanna work with people, like, I wanna work with, producers and, like, I wanna stick with one set group, either a group or just one
Mm.
person to, like, develop whatever the sound is." Like, I didn't, like, go into it with that, like, in mind necessarily, but it kind of just became, like, what was important. You kind of just need to sometimes concentrate. Like, again, like, coop up, figure it out, and then, like, whenever you're ready, get going. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that that is really helpful to just, like,
Mhm.
have your person or have your group. Because I mean, even though you're a sorry, a solo performer,
Yeah.
like, it still requires, like, a team
Oh,
effort to, like, really definitely develop that sound,
yeah, yeah,
so
totally, totally. Yeah, I definitely would, like, not give myself sole credit ever with anything because like, not one person is doing things on their own, no matter how much, like, it seems like it is. It's like there's I don't know, legions of people who are, like, there to either influence or help, and, like, it's important to note that no one should do anything by themselves, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. But then, of course, like, when you take the stage, you are up there yourself. Do you remember the first time you ever played a show?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like, I think I was in elementary school, and, like, I really had it like I said, in my head, I was like, "I'm gonna be a singer, I'm gonna sing, and I'm gonna write songs." And in elementary school, I think 5th grade, like, talent show, I remember being like, "I'm gonna go up there, and I'm gonna be, like, super, like, assuming on the stage, and I'm gonna take up the stage, I'm gonna dance around," and, like, I was so stiff, like, I couldn't, like I felt how stiff I was, and I was like,
Aw.
I can't move," but, obviously years and years of doing it, then you get loose, but that's fun.
Yeah, no, can't blame the stage fright, can't
No,
blame it.
exactly, it's a natural thing for sure, but yeah, that was and I'm sure I sang a cover and it was like Demi Lovato's La La Land or something like that.
Amazing. That's sick. So you really are, like, a homegrown star, like, you've had your eyes set on this.
Yeah, I think I think so. Yeah, I was like, there's and honestly, so lucky, like, I had my parents who are so encouraging and, like, even when I'm sure I was, like, pulling up with, like, songs that were high key, very mid, I'm sure. They were like, "That's great, like, don't stop, keep it going." And I felt like I had having that encouragement, like, I'm really, like, a sensitive person and a very I, like, listen to criticism like, I'm, like, a very, absorbent person, and, I think now, like, as I'm getting older, like, I'm learning what I want to let in and what I wanna let influence me, but, like,
Mm.
when I was a kid, I was like if my parents said, "You're not good, you should stop," I probably would have. Like, my mom was also the one who's like, "You should quit university and, like, just do music," because I wasn't gonna do it by myself, you know what I mean?
Wow, that's awesome. That's, like, really lucky to have that supportive of a
For
group.
real. It's super lucky. I was, like, lucked out because again, like, the way that I am, I think there would have been, like I definitely would have just not I would have stopped, or something would have derailed me, and then I would have, like, been super sad and then, like, gone back to it on my own, but, like, the fact that I didn't have to do all of this, like, figuring it out, and I had people who were like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, like, do it." I don't know. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, that's an option. Cool." Yeah.
So do you remember then, like, the first time you performed your original music?
Um, I think so. I think I was okay, I don't know if this counts. I, like, knew I wanted to play music live, right? And I was like, "I don't
Mhm.
wanna do covers, I wanna, like" 'cause the songs I'm writing, I'm like, I wanna sing those," but I had just been writing songs, like, a cappella, and I'm like, "I can't
Okay.
really perform that." I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I wanted to accompany it with, like, music, and, so I, like, learned guitar, not because I was, like, impassioned by the guitar, but just because I was like, "That's something I could, like, learn how to play." So,
Yeah.
I was learning how to play the guitar, and, I would also, like for, like, I think 4 or 5 years, every Christmas, I started doing this, like, Christmas show for, like, my family, so extended
Aw.
family would come and, like, I would make, like, brochures and, like, I would write down what they were going to see and,
Oh,
like,
of
the
course.
of the show, and I forced my sister into, like, being, like, an actor and, like, a stage hand and everything. She was, like, 6 or 7.
Oh my gosh.
And so, I think the first time technically that I played, like, a song that I'd written and it was on the guitar was probably that, and then, um, as I was, like, getting better and more comfortable, there were a few, like, little opportunities that, like, my parents were working with this guy, and he had, like, this college party, and so I went to go play at this thing, like, it was, like, a mixture of, like, my guitar and some covers and stuff, and so that I think I, like, back in the day, I posted that on YouTube, so that's why it's, like, in my head.
Nice.
Um,
I love that. I love that, like, you've always had a real, like, a full creative vision of, like, what this scene should be for your
yeah.
music.
Yeah, exactly.
No, and I really, like I'm such a fan of, like, your full-rounded artistry, like, the music itself is so good, but
Thank you
then,
so much.
like, I actually had a couple of questions
Mhm,
about some of your cover art.
please.
Kind of the one that inspired it for me was the cover of Pop Pop Pop.
Yeah.
Um, so, like, love
Yeah.
that, but then, like, the, like, weird little dog and
Yeah.
Popstar too, it has all of these, like it kind of just, like each cover has almost, like, an otherworldly quality to them, which
What?
is so cool.
Thank
No,
you.
I'm, like, so interested to hear if that's, like I don't know, like, how intentional that is for you, like, is there
Mhm.
something about, like, a hand-drawn or, like, cartoon, maybe for a better word, like, lack of a better word, that, like, really gets who Magi Merlin is across?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so first of all, thank you very much for noticing and
Uh,
highlighting that because 'cause I'm
please.
so, like, anal and so specific about, like, any type of visual element associated with my music. It's, like, something I think
Mm,
about, sometimes almost simultaneously with the music, and I guess I'm, like, a very visual person. I always really liked, like, music videos, huge fan of music videos. I love when, like, an artist's like, universe, everything from, like, the music to the visual elements are, like, all cohesive, so I've always been super inspired by that, and, like, when it comes to, like, the covers, yeah, the I really make a point of, like, associating the choice of cover, like, the aesthetic or whatever, if it makes sense to music to me. I'm like so Weird Little Dog and even Pop Pop Pop, I felt like, yeah, like an illustration or like a painting or a hand-drawn something would, like, kind of, exemplify or, like, add on to the music, especially
mhm.
for a Weird Little Dog. I thought that was, like, I mean, I approached, this person in who's based in Montreal, Spencer, who is, like, an incredible visual artist um, who, like, does really, really beautiful paintings, and I was like, "I feel like, I don't know, this aesthetic that they kind of developed would be really cool if they just made this really scraggly, scary-looking dog." And this was, like, their first draft, like, that image, I just took a picture of it with my iPhone and, like, edited the colors, like, it was really it was, like, first try, basically. And then Pop Pop Pop,
Love that.
I wanted, like, everything to be associated with planes, like, the the press images are also, like, me in, like, in a plane and, like, like, a landing pad, and I thought it would be nice to have, like, the image of the cover art to be, like, this, like, cute little hand painted drawn plane that Spencer also made. So I was like, "Yeah, like, these make sense to me." And then for Popstar, to do Cliff Notes version, I made, like, a bag with my face on it because it's Popstar, commodification of the Popstar was, like, I really wanted something like an item that you could touch
Mm.
and handle in real life, because also, like, I'm not very into the AI thing at all. So I'm like, I want everything to be touched by a person. So, like, going out and, like, printing out this bag and then having my friend come through and, like, take, digital pictures of it. I just, like, really liked that it was, like, very effortful and sort of difficult and annoying, and I'm like, "Yes, like, that's exactly what I want to happen," and I also feel like it really, like, exemplifies the point of the song because it's all about, like, the responsibility of a pop star and, like, yeah, should they be commodified? I don't know. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, no, no, let's get into Popstar because it's so interesting. I think that this is such a really interesting topic, and I love when artists are honest about feeling
Mhm.
a sense of responsibility around fame. I feel like it doesn't happen a ton, so when it does, it's like, okay, very interesting.
Mhm.
I'd love to hear, like, what does being brave and being, like, an authentic, kind of like activist as an artist? Like, what does that mean to you? What does that look like to you?
Totally. I think it has to do with yeah, there is, in all honesty, a sense of bravery because there's a lot of repercussions, it seems, to speaking your mind and being like,
Yeah.
I don't know, a humanitarian and somebody who just cares about, like, people's well-being. Like, for some reason, you're, like, not
Yeah.
supposed to care about anybody but yourself, like, okay. So, yeah, in that regard, I have, like, incredible respect for any musician or anybody who's able to, well, essentially do what we do naturally, which is, like, absorb the world around us and then, like, express that experience through music. So when people, like, will come to me, like, DM me or whatever being like, you're supposed to just entertain," I find it kind of funny because like, music is, like, innately political because it's just the processing of the world and, like, everything
Mhm.
is if we think of it like that. Um, so, like, for me, it's just a matter of being exactly who I am and what I believe in, like, doing what I believe in as to the best of my ability, you know? I don't wanna either say that I'm, like or people in general should be, like, these, like, heightened beings with no contradiction and no, yeah, like, they are just supposed to be on the straight and path because I think that's quite dangerous as well where like, you can so easily burn out and feel, like, way too much weight on your shoulders if you're, like, the only person who's, like, the moral compass for everybody, who's, like, listening to you, you know? But, yeah, I do think that, like, being a responsible artist or pop star is just, like, being a messenger, doing your best to, like, stay grounded and, like, follow, like, what you believe in. Like, just do what you believe
Mhm.
and, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it sounds so simple. I think that,
It
like,
sounds
I guess it sounds simple, but then, of course, the challenge is, like, especially as your fame grows, as you
oh,
kind
yeah.
of, like, get deeper into the thick of, like, the whole music industry and
Mhm.
being a celebrity, there's, like, a lot of pressure, obviously, to be, like, very careful
Yes.
about what
Yeah.
your brand is and, like, who your audience is.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you do to kind of, like, practice that holding on to a true sense of yourself and, like,
Mm.
your purpose of fighting for humanitarian,
Yeah.
like, beliefs?
Yeah, yeah. No, it's yeah, it's great. I mean, honestly, it's being I think that there is a real root in, like, being tapped in with your community, like the people that you
Mm,
talk to, your friends, and like maintain like having people check you, like because like I said, like humans are very contradictory, and like that is normal. Like I can want the betterment for like the entire world, but then like also want to get like a nice little check and like go on a vacation and, like, hang out with my friends. Like, that's also a thing that will happen and exist, you know? I think there's a like, one of the problems that I've personally noticed is, like, the intense polarity. Like, you're either a good person or a bad person, and it's, like, so
mhm,
unrealistic and unfair as well. And also, like, as an audience member of very many pop stars, you know, I think it's, like again, there's sometimes too much responsibility that the audience is placing on the artist to, like, save everyone and to be, like, again, like, this moral compass, and I think it is a shared responsibility, and I think it's also good to, you know, share criticism as an audience member to, like, a figure like that, and also for the audience member to be like, empathetic and, like, they're still, like, a person, and it would be hard for anybody to deal with that level of responsibility. So, yeah,
yeah,
I think, like, what helps with that is to have these conversations with, like, my friends, and I literally have them all the time. I'll, like, send videos of, like, people being critical of, like, different, like, philanthropic celebrities and how, like, they fucked up somehow, and then I'll, like, send it to my friend and, like, we'll have a talk because 'cause I'm like, "I wanna just try and navigate this, like, in a way that doesn't make me go crazy." So
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that sounds like a really healthy practice for, like, diffusing the tension
Mhm.
around, like it is a lot of pressure, but I feel like, yeah, being able to talk about it and be self-aware is gonna
Yeah.
be a good key.
Yes,
Good
totally.
key. Well, who are, like, some of the other pop stars or people that you look up to or are
Mhm.
some sort of inspiration to you? Both as, like, good people, but also just, like, their artistry.
Yeah, so, like, in terms of, like, pop girlies, I know Zara Larson's pretty cool. She's, like, European. I think that there's, like and watched a video this morning about this, actually. I'm a YouTube girl, like, so much.
Okay, let's go.
I'm, like, I'm, like, YouTube Premium, like, I'm a 10 but, yeah, like, Zara Larsson, I think she's quite outspoken and is not really scared of, like, making little jokes about, and just being very, vocal about what she believes in and what she thinks, and I think that's very admirable and super cool, and I think, like, another person that I was, like, into or am into, Chapel Roan, I always thought was, like, very interesting and outspoken and at least for her own, like, and for herself and her boundaries and stuff,
Yes, totally.
it's quite, like, inspiring, because I think again, like, I think there's a difference in terms of, like, being an American celebrity. There's a lot
Mhm.
more, like, muzzles on, like and, like, things that you can't say. So that's what the person I was watching this morning was saying about, like, Zara Larsson as an example. She's, like, a celebrity that, like, is Swedish, I think? And
Yes.
so she's European, and so I think there's just a different, culture around being able to say what you wanna say, and, like, she's not her roots aren't in the States, so, like, she doesn't have to be as, I guess, careful all the time.
Mm.
I know Brazilian, musicians, like Tim Maia, I'm pretty sure I don't know if he was, like, a good person, but, like, I'm pretty sure he was quite political in his music, but, yeah, so there's, like, plenty. There are celebrities, but I feel like everybody has, like, their blind spots.
Mhm.
So but that's like I said, that's the human condition. I can't, like, expect one person to be everything.
Yeah, I mean, of course, but that's a great lineup of people to be
Yeah.
referencing in this.
Yeah, totally.
Um, moving just more back to your music, I feel like all of your music is made for movement. Like I said, it's like literally on my way, like, to and from campus, along the tube, just, like, bopping around the city. Your music is just such a go-to for me because, like, no matter what the vibe is, it just really accompanies that.
That's great.
Um, yeah. Is that something that, like are you doing a lot of that in your life? Like, is that something
I'm a
that is, like
walker, actually. So
yeah,
totally
okay.
yeah, I am, like I walk from, like, everywhere to everywhere if I can, if it's not, like, completely insane, like, 2 hours, like, I won't do that maybe, but, yeah, I do love, like I do also do a lot of, like, thinking while walking. I feel like
Mhm.
I've also written sometimes, my work, like I work at a venue, very rarely at this point, but it's like 45-minute walk from my place, and I'll just, like
Okay.
there's been multiple nights walking back home where I'm like, "Oh, I'm writing this song," and then, like, you just are able to think about things better. I mean, I think that's, like, a thing that people like, it's more meditative when you're walking, and you're able to, like, think better. I don't
No, totally, and it gets the creative
know.
juices, like, flowing and being in a
Exactly.
different place.
Exactly, and I do think that, like, maybe it's the ADHD, but I do love, like, being, like, surprised a lot. So in terms of, like, the music and I think the same thing goes for Funky, like, Funky, what the producer I work with, we're both, like,
Mhm.
quite like, Now we change it, and now we do this, and, like, we should, like, blah," constantly, like, ta, ta, ta." So I do think it kinda makes for music that, like, okay, you need to move a little bit because like, naturally speaking, like, the way we made it, it's just, like, so pa, 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 like ADHD.
Does music have to, like, pass some sort of test for you? Like, does it have to pass, like, I don't know, I have to be able to, like, have a good enough time dancing to this, or, like, it needs to fit the vibe in some way for you to put it
Ah,
out?
I mean, I definitely need to feel like something. It needs to, like, make me
Yeah.
feel something inside where I'm like, "Oh, yeah." It's like any type of, like, intense emotion, I think is, like, a success, at least for me, you know? I'm like, whether it makes you feel like you wanna dance or, like, concentrate or I don't know, or feel just, like, sit and feel things, like, I'm like, all that is success to me in terms of, like, it being finished and it being, like, well seasoned and stuff, so you telling
Mhm.
me this, I'm like, "Yes, thank you." I'm
Okay.
so down to hear
Oh,
that.
yes, hell yeah. Okay, taking a song like "Pop Pop Pop" that was originally put out by
Yeah,
the Idols,
yeah.
like, what was it about that song that you, like, heard this potential to just flip it into something, like, kind of poppier?
Yeah, I mean, I me and Funky both are, like, obsessed with this track in particular on the record, and, like, it's I think it's perfect. I think it's, like, such a good song, and I we were, like, sitting and, like, thinking about, you know, what he Funky was like, "What do you wanna do with this?" Like, I don't it 'cause I mean, like, the way that it stands at the moment, it feels really great as is, you know? And I was like, I don't know, cause he does these flips, like, he flips, different tracks and just makes them completely different. I'm like, "You know, like, that thing that you do, like, you do it all the time, like, why don't we just kind of approach it in this way where it doesn't have to be, like, a cover in, like, the traditional sense of the word, and we,
Yeah.
like, flip it and kind of make it this other thing? Cause I think what the song is doing on its own is, like, perfect the way it is, you know? So I'm not trying to, like, make it better, I'm just trying to we're trying to make it different and, like, more, you know, like us, I guess. And so, yeah, like, Funky was like, "Okay," like and then so listening back, you could hear the drums and you're like, "Oh, if you were to speed this up, it does sound kind of like UKG drums." It's, like, just slower and, like, missing a hit or 2. And so we,
Mhm.
like, sped it up a bit and, like, played with, like, vocal chops, obviously, like, similar chords and stuff and, like, cadence and whatever, but, like, yeah, it did it did change the way that it feels, and I also love that it's, like, UK garaged as well, like, Idols is, like, post-punk, like, UK, whatever, and, like, we're still
Mhm.
the same name, same place.
No, it's so sick. Like, it sounds completely different, but so good. Does he put any of those other flips out at somewhere?
He, like, I know he has a Bandcamp and he has these crazy flips that are, like, specific I mean, I think the project he put out is called For All My DJs. And, like, there's a bunch
Okay.
of, like, crazy flips that he has on there that are, like, sick, sick, sick. And sometimes he'll, like, share his flips on or, like, he'll either, like, flip a beat or just, like, have a beat and then, like, get some, vocals from, like, a different rappers or whatever, and just kind of, like, make them completely different, and he'll post them on Instagram sometimes, but I know Bandcamp has, like, a whole project for people who wanna, like, you know, play songs and dance and live.
Okay.
Yeah.
So sick. I'm
I
gonna have to check that
recommend.
out.
Yeah, it's really good.
Well, I know that you're having a busy day, so I appreciate you hopping on.
So
Is there anything else that we should look out from you in the near future?
I will say that something's gonna happen April 1st. Something crazy.
Something crazy is coming.
Something crazy. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say anything about it, but I mean, yeah. Also, yeah, like Milo and Cakes, I have a little cameo, and it's a funny movie, and it's very cute. So that's coming out.
Yeah. We'll look out for all of that, but
Yes.
Magi, thank you. Thank you so much.
You are, yeah, this is really fun.